'Cause, yeah, you probably, if you came in and I had another driver, was saying.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, May 11th, and we are just finally getting out of town. We took 3 zeros, and I guess in Nero, we've been off trail for a while. I think we came off Recon and I on Saturday night, grabbed a hotel room, and now we're just getting back on Wednesday. It has been blowing like it's crazy since then. Very cold temperatures, kind of down in the singles and low teens at night. Hasn't been warming up too much during the day. She's typically kind of low teens. Today, I think it's probably about 15, 16 when we left the place, but we're kind of eager to get back on the trail. Well, some are more eager than others, but right now we're in the middle of about a 2-mile rod walk, and then we hit about 3.5 miles of trail. This is over the Horseshoe Lake trail, and we'll be hopping onto the PCT again. Should be a pretty crazy day. We'll see how it is. It's just so hard to say. We were postponing a lot when we came out, but the cold weather should have firmed up at least the access trail. So I'm kind of crossing my fingers for that. It's always really hard when that happens. Tomorrow it should be warming up a lot though. And from my understanding is that the melt will be in full force. Maybe we'll get the morning be able to go where the snow hopefully will be firm enough to make an easy to go over Donahue Pass. It's quite a few miles away, like 10 or 15 I think by trail. We'll see how it goes, and if we can find a dry place to camp. So again, hopefully we'll be getting back on trail today. Things will go smoothly. I'm kind of eager to get back. I was kind of done with town. Not to say, but that's a long time in town. When you kind of really want to get back on trail. Looks like we settle into a nice forest walk. Pretty good view of the Devil's Post Spot. It's a columnar basalt formation on the other side there. You can see it's just like these piles of basaltic columns just laying every each way. Oh, look at the spring marsh is coming right out of the ground. Good morning. It is Thursday, May 12th. We started off at about mile 9:15 this morning. Made about 12 trail miles yesterday, about 18 to 19 overall. There's a bit of road walking, and also there was, we had to get back on the through the access trail, which was pretty snowy. We have had some fresh snow, and but we really wanted to get back on trail as soon as we could because we're entering a warming spell. The melt is, I understand, is officially going to be full on. This week it's going to hit 50s, 60s. It's going to be crazy warm. So there's going to be a lot of post holing when we find deep snow on the north aspects of certain passes. So that's kind of what we're racing to get through now. There's a lot of snow still around. Even though we're in a drought year, there's a bunch of snow, at least in the, again, the northern aspects of a lot of the passes. You can kind of see it if you take a look at some of the radar maps coming from NOAA. So today we get to go over a couple passes. One is Island Pass, which is real pretty, I understand. And then there's also Donahue Pass, which is kind of a little bit more interesting in that marks the entry into Yosemite. So we're really excited about that. That's where we're going. And hopefully we'll be in there a little bit later today. We'll get there by early afternoon or so. So we're psyched. The scenery out here, once again, is just absolutely beautiful. It really hasn't stopped in the last few hundred miles. It's just been absolutely gorgeous. And we're getting to enjoy that today. You this morning. to Donahue. Last little bit, the Donahue Pass. Hey, we made it! Woo! We're now in Yosemite. We're in Yosemite. Woohoo! Woohoo! Woo! Woo! That was awesome. Such a contrast from what we were seeing up above.
Yeah.
Just waking up, chewing on the fresh green leaves. Good morning. This is Friday the 13th. We started this morning at about mile 936. We are in Yosemite. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's just got this huge long meadow in this valley. I think it's called Lyle Canyon. It's a big change from the mountains. I mean, you can't see mountains in the background, but we're walking along this valley and there's so much water everywhere. I actually kind of took a header this morning because it is below freezing again this morning, and it's firming everything up, which makes it like really easy to walk in, but you gotta watch where you're going because that's kind of what I'm doing now. But it is such a nice change. It's beautiful. One thing is, I think Tuolumne Meadows is basically closed. The Tioga Road is closed. Still, at least was when I called. Hopefully I'm going to be pleasantly surprised. There'll be lots of cars and everything will be open. But I think everything is going to be closed. So that's kind of a little bit of a bummer. Can't grab a burger or anything. But today should be pretty cruisy. Mostly flat, at least for the first, 16, 18 miles. And then we get back up in the mountains again. I think everybody's thinking we do a long day, so we can get that much closer to Meadows North. So we'll see how it goes. So far though, it's been pretty, it's been awesome, except for me taking a header. By Tuolumne Meadows. Beautiful walk today. It's our first bear sign. Looks like we got some black bear. To admit, I was hoping for a bit less snow today. 1,000 feet straight up. Good morning. It is Saturday, May 14th. We're at mile 962. I'm just leaving camp now at 6:30, which is pretty late for us. Yesterday wiped us out. I think most people are still in camp. Some of them are just climbing out of bed now. We did a long day. It was a marathon day. I think the big thing though was that there was a ton of climbing at the end, and it was hard climbing. It was all slush and a bit of a mess, and it just wipes you out. To be honest, I'm kind of getting sort of tired of the snow. It's really hard work. Oh my gosh. It's just climb straight up mountains. You can't find the trail. There's supposed to be switchbacks there, but you can't really find them. You end up going just straight up and down, using your hands or whatever you got in order to climb up and down. It's you're sliding, you're falling a lot. Yeah, I think I'm good. Especially now we're past the high Sierras, which are just so beautiful. That's the thing, it's sort of like, it's such hard work, and then it's metered against the fact that it is so beautiful. But I think after doing this for a few weeks, we're sort of ready for just the snow to be gone. Of course that doesn't matter because we got lots of snow today. We're heading back up. Today's actually a really hard profile. We got in the first about 13 miles, 1,600 foot climbs, and it's going to be up probably the snow. One good thing is that the snow's pretty firm. We got a very hard frost this morning. Everything's just coated with frost. Sleeping bags, tents, everything. So we're gonna have to have a big yard sale this afternoon to kind of dry everything out. We'll see how it goes. We don't really have a plan today. People were talking about doing long miles, but I think after yesterday's hard effort, that might have clipped everybody's wings just a smidge. We'll see how it goes. Benson Pass, 10,100 feet. That was a lot harder probably than it should have been. Oh my gosh. This is another beautiful pass though. Sliding hill, almost vertical. Sledding hill. Yikes. Made it to the lake near the CV Pass. Last few steps to CV Pass. Yes, that's the trail we've been following for the last half mile or so. Good morning, it's Sunday, May 15th. We started off at about mile 982, so we had a bit of a scare yesterday because only Bubbles and I were the only ones who made it as planned into camp yesterday. And we were just dreading the worst of something disastrous happened to the other 3 people in our posse. And we were talking about all the different scenarios, calling search and rescue. It was pretty horrible because we had gone through it was probably the most sketchy day that we have to date on trail, with just these big, long, super steep sloped type with high exposures, and we're just kind of chipping our way on the side of those. It was very sketchy. And then the river crossings were just like waist deep, fast flowing, dangerous as all get up. So I spent the entire night basically really scared. We had like kind of missed people, and then when we finally saw people in camp this morning around 8 o'clock or so, we're so glad to see them. But it was pretty sketchy, I think, for everybody. Everybody was pretty scared yesterday, and you guess you just deal with it. But I think we're at the point now. We've been in the snow for a few weeks, and everybody needs a break. I think when we get to South Lake Tahoe, everybody's going to take like a few days, if not a week off, including myself. I think I need a mental and physical break from this, and maybe let the snow come down, melt down a little bit. Today, last night it didn't freeze, so we're walking in mashed potatoes like all the freaking day. It's just hard work. It's beautiful, but it is difficult. So again, I think that may be one of the byproducts of sort of one, being at lower altitude after we get north of Sonora Pass, and two, waiting a little bit for the snow to kind of settle down. We'll see how it goes. I think that's one of the things that's just sort of keeping us going right now. But yeah, I think we're pretty knackered. We're ready for a little bit of a break. Good morning. It's May 16th on a Monday, and we're all kind of getting off to a staggered start this morning. We started off at about mile 1002, so we broke the 1,000 mile mark. Yay! So we're excited about that. It's town day, so this is where we go over Sonora Pass, and kind of is a big milestone for any PCTer. And that it kind of marks getting through the high Sierras. I think the official mark going through the high Sierras, and get to return our heavy bear canisters. I certainly am. I think a few other people are thinking about holding them onto them, but I definitely am not. So I have a way to hang my bag, and I also have a sack and so forth. And so it should be pretty good. I'd rather deal with that than this big bulky heavy thing. We got through without actually seeing any bears. We saw some bear sign, just saw some tracks at one point. No scat or anything. So that's not to say we won't see them in the valleys at some point, a little bit further up north. So we are excited about getting into town. It's going to be a long day, 14.5 miles total. Right now, actually, I'm about almost 4.5 miles into it. But it's a lot of climbing. Oh my gosh, it's like about 2,600 miles of 2,600 feet of climbing, and I'm about halfway up it now. I'm just kind of slowly making my way up. I am in no hurry. I think my body's feeling kind of really beat up right now. It needs a day off. That's where we're heading. Going up this pass. Lately they've been pretty sketchy, but we'll see how it goes. You can see there's still tons of snow. The snow's fairly firm right now. I've only post-holed a few times, only sworn a few times, and we'll see how it goes today. Again, it's sounding to be pretty, really pretty. We're climbing up to about 10,600 feet for where we were in camp, which was surrounded by snow. We were able to find some nice bear spots. But the rivers are flowing really strong. There's lots of water crossings. I think nobody's bothering even to take off their shoes anymore. I basically almost never have. But they're just so frequent, you just can't take your shoes off every single time. So we're just walking straight through the ice melt. And we'll see how it goes. So hopefully in a few hours we'll be out and on the road ready for the hitch, and off into Meadows North. This is an idea to give you what the trail actually looks like on PCT in the winter, and basically there's no trail. Everything's covered in snow. Pretty much you try to find a safe way up, which roughly approximates the trail. It can be very hard to follow. Right now I'm following Bubbles and Recon steps, and you can see this, since there was just so few people ahead of us, only basically a handful, there's no steps. So we're just kind of like following compass directions, trying to find a safe way up, roughly approximating the trail, and you just keep on going. Then that's it. Sometimes in order to find a safe way up the trail, you can't follow it. It's just too dangerous, especially on some of the really steep slopes. So you end up kind of having to steer around a little bit. Again, you sort of do your best you can. Just heading up the pass. Just a little bit more of the climb to go. About another 700 vertical feet. So here's an example where it's probably not safe to follow the trail. You can see the trail goes along this steep slope here. You have to do the big long traverse. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way up to the ridge line and then just hike along the ridge line. It just looks like it's a lot safer if I can just get up there. But you can see how steep it is. In order to get up there, I'm doing a lot of cake stepping. We'll see how it goes. So the view from the ridge line. I think we earned a candy bar today. Next step is to follow this ridge line. A lot more post-holing. Looking good. Sonora Pass. Woo! Made it to Kennedy Meadows North. So Recon and I are staying up in the bunks upstairs. I think we have a bunk room all to ourselves.